Hello, friends. Welcome to Pod Maverick After Dark. It's Josh Bowe and Kirk and Josh talking to you again for the second time in like 22 hours. The Dallas Mavericks just defeated the Washington Wizards in Washington, 111-106. Josh, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
A little tired. That hot dog 5K was choice. Then I didn't throw up, which is important. And ran well. It was also just a bleak start to my day, so I was up just doing like we did the group therapy until like we did an hour. We did an hour after. I just was shocked. Like, we had some good conversation, but it just kept going into the night, and then when that happens, it just sort of pushes everything back. But I got to be honest, like the 6 o'clock start time, I couldn't do it every day. Neither could you, but didn't hate it for this game. It's kind of
definitely better to do it on the weekends for sure.
Yes,
for sure.
Apparently, the Mavs arrived in DC at 4 a.m. local time last night after traveling from New Orleans, and this one is a bit of an uphill slog. Now, I know the Wizards are one of the other worst teams in the league, kind of thing. So it's they won, which is nice. So I'm getting a lot of people talking to me. Tanking. It's like, guys, there's 70 games left.
Yeah.
Like, this is not it. Like, if you want to bitch about specific things, if you want to hope like fun to like put together a GoFundMe to send Nico Harris into space, like I'll do all that sort of stuff. Sure. But the Mavs are not tanking, so I'm not entertaining that option right now.
They don't need to tank.
No, that's the other part. Yeah. So they won tonight against the Wizards. It was a Najee Marshall game. That's probably and Najee and Cooper were kind of the things that I really enjoyed about this game. And I didn't watch enough of it sequentially because I was putting my 2-year-old to bed. But the Mavericks really they started off a little slow as usual, but then they ended the third quarter. I saw this from Isaac Harris over at Locked on Mavs. It was only their first quarter of the season where they scored 30 or more points, which is interesting. And that really pushed into the second quarter. The Mavericks led, I think, by as many as 14 at one point, and it looked, that's right, 14. And it looked like they were going to coast away with this one. And then I said CJ McCollum sucks on Twitter. And he responded with like 25 points and made it a uncomfortably close game. Like the Mavericks, look, the Mavericks are awful right now, but the Wizards are a different awful.
Yeah.
they're just loosey goosey and in a way that the Mavericks shouldn't be. And so that it was this close of a game is pretty frustrating for me. But again, they just needed to win the damn ball game.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to take away from a game like this, other than there's basically two things. They won, so they have some pride and some shame. They responded. They did what they needed to do. They responded from the embarrassment of the last couple of games, and this doesn't erase it. And the opponent certainly doesn't mean that nothing's fixed. Nothing's really changed, other than the team hasn't given up on the season in Game 8, which would have been something. Like, I didn't think that was going to happen.
Right.
And they proved they proved everyone right, right there. Cause I mean, it was getting pretty dark after that Memphis game, I'm sure, as you were talking to the fans. So like they could have won this game on a half court heave after being down 25 points for most of the game. And it's still the same. Like, you just win, just show a pulse and prove that you haven't given up on your season yet. Because if they would have lost this game, you start talking about that kind of stuff. So they did that. And then the second thing is, like, they had to beat the worst team in the league with a guy that was on a 2-way contract last season and another guy that's on a 2-way contract right now. Of course, don't want to leave out Najee Marshall, who was the one vet who seemed to really bring it tonight, who was incredible, 30 points in 31 minutes. But the Mavericks don't win this game unless they have Musa Cisse and Brandon Williams, and that's awesome. And those guys carried over what they did in the third and fourth quarters against Memphis to earn some time tonight. and they're all nothing to take away from them, but some of the vets, like Daniel Gafford, needs to be like looking at himself in a mirror, like after watching like that should be like I would hope that's kind of a wake up call that a guy could just kind of almost, I mean, not come off the street, but two-way guy can come and so thoroughly outplay him and be needed to win the game. That said, I don't want to get too negative about that part and just celebrate that those two guys played awesome games. And I love Cisse. I've been saying it since the preseason. I freaking love him. I wish he was on a full-time contract. I think if I had my druthers, because I'm kind of insane right now, I would play him like every single game. I would play him as long as AD and Lively are hurt. I would start him. I would play him as many minutes as he can before he fouls out. Like, I love this dude. Like, he is awesome. Now he's on a two-way deal, so they need to be cautious. Like, they can't play him every game because he'll run out of time.
Mm-hmm. So, they wasted 2 games of eligibility, or they've wasted at least 2 or 3 games of eligibility.
Yeah, so when AD and Lively are back, like, it sucks, but he's gonna have to go back to G League. I would play him every game, even with all 3 centers healthy. He is awesome. The thing I love the most about him is pay attention. I hate to keep giving people homework. I gave people homework after the other game about watch how often the Mavericks touch the paint. Watch Cisse exclusively when he's on the floor the next game that he gets to play extended burn, and watch how fast he runs up the floor on both ends, whether it's getting back on defense or running after the team secures a rebound or they start their possession going the other way. That dude beat his man down the floor 8 times out of 10, it felt like tonight, like 80% of the time. He was always back, whether defensively or offensively. He runs, he's like the Isaiah Pacheco of NBA centers. Like, he just just running dangerously as fast as he can as soon as there's a change of possession, which Matt, like, he got some dunks, he got some defensive stops purely because he was running harder down the floor than his opponent. And Alex Sarr should be embarrassed because Cisse totally
I had a good time arguing with our guy Brian Roby, who watches a lot of basketball. He did the recap and he's just like, oh, he's playing so well. And like,
who?
Sarr this season. He's like, Sarr's playing so well.
Oh, yeah, this season, this game. Yeah, I mean, he was playing well this season, but this game was.
I mean, he played a good third, but watching him, like, he gets
your center shooting 6 of 16 is not
you get a ton of fucking looks in your ass. I mean, he was arguably like, how's this for a take? Sarr is why they lost that basketball game.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Sarr is absolutely why they lost that basketball game. And he should be embarrassed because he had like multiple opportunities within about 6 feet of the basket, and they just, like I kind of hate Sarr. Like, he makes me actively angry because he has the body and he has the skills, and he doesn't seem to have the touch. And touch is something I do think you can practice. But every time he shot the ball near the basket, it was like it's like his eyes were closed. Like, I don't know. There were some awful misses, and he should be embarrassed. There were turnovers that were happening. Like, there was one of the last real good looks that they got. It was a turnover because it's like, it was a little bit of a rough pass, but he fumbled the pass, and then he like tried to throw it off Brandon Williams' leg, and it's like, just grab the fucking ball. You're 7 foot tall. Just grab it. Anyway, I was.
This isn't a Wizards podcast.
But no,
we have to highlight that.
I hate over, like,
He has all the tools.
I've been honestly. So this. I want to talk about Cooper the second half of the show, but I've been watching a lot of Maverick idiot discussion, social media pages and the like around Cooper, and there are all these people. It's like, look, the same kind of people who told me the Mavericks are going to be awesome are now telling me the Cooper sucks, and it's like, I just don't. I get frustrated about this because part of why I am drawn and have always been drawn to basketball. Hold on 1 second. Dodang, it's a literal link. You click on the link. I don't know how to help you, brother. It's a link. Anyway, I get so frustrated because it's like, basketball is a really simple sport to explain and a very simple sport to get started. Mastering it is, of course, difficult. It's of course difficult. But you look at a guy like Cisse and then a guy like Sarr, and it's like the simplest solution is simply playing harder, right?
Cisse is the hardest playing player on the floor whenever he's on the floor.
Boom. And like it is a skill, but it's also something everyone can do. And so it's like you see these bursts of energy from certain players, and it's like Flag plays like this all the time. Flag runs hard. We're really looking forward to talking about Flag's game, but there's an energy component to basketball, and the Mavericks did not have it against the Grizzlies. That was very clear. The fact that they had it tonight, or that at least certain players had it tonight, was really fun. Anyway, all right. So Cisse, outstanding. Really, like the Mavericks surviving a really heinous D'Angelo Russell game is quite fascinating to me.
I'm curious if this is a game that changes that starting lineup. Because I mean, I know Brandon Williams didn't shoot the ball well, but like, holy crap, what a difference between the two.
Well, I think Brandon Williams is pretty scoutable. I do. Against the
team.
I
mean, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it only looks like this because it's the Wizards. But like, they're going to play Milwaukee next, and maybe Giannis sends him into the Phantom Zone. But still, right. I mean, the live dribble stuff that's not going away. Like that's something that D'Angelo just isn't doing right now. But
I mean, like you're looking at Russell, and it's like 0 for 6 from 3, and some of the shot attempts were the kind of like where you're like, come on, man, don't take that one. And that's just what ended up like. He had, how many assists did he have? Oh, he didn't even really have any assists. That's pretty brutal. But so it's like they survived that, and then that they survived the 3-point shooting. So the Mavericks were crisp 6 of 24 from 3. The Wizards were plus 18 from 3-point range compared to the Mavericks.
Yeah. It helps when you grab 16 offensive rebounds and your opponent has 18 turnovers. 18 turnovers. The Mavericks scored that 33 fast break points.
33, and that's and I'm again, I want to kind of pivot to that in the second half of the show because I think Flag was a big portion of that. That I enjoyed.
He was awesome in transition.
So so let's take a break here. We'll come back here shortly. And if you are at all interested in supporting our show, listen to those ads. We've had a lot of content the last 2 days. Like we have 2 podcasts up from yesterday's game that everyone was angry about. We'll have 2 more podcasts today. I appreciate everybody who's listening. It helps Josh and I. So just, listen to those ads. And if you're at all interested, there's a link in the show notes that goes to a PayPal. So we're doing that. We'll be right back. Thanks so much, team. We are back. If you're at all interested and want to talk about this game or talk about anything you liked or didn't like or following up on the season to date so far, there will be a Mavs party directly after the show. If you don't want to have one, if people aren't interested, I'm okay with that. I am out of gas. I will try though, and we'll see. So, okay, let's keep going with the fun stuff because this is a win, and I think we need to land that. We were just talking about the 33 fast break points. How in the hell did Washington have 22 second chance points if the Mavericks out rebounded them that much on the offensive end? What in the world?
A lot of the Mavericks offensive rebounds were tap outs back out to the perimeter, not necessarily like getting putbacks near the basket. So
okay, well, that's just a weird little stat.
It is very weird,
that thing that's in there. The Mavericks had 21 stocks. That's pretty crazy. Yes. So 33 fast break points. Talk to me about what you liked from the fast break angle. Like what were the Mavericks doing right, or was it more of the more,
I mean, it helps when your opponent gives you the ball in a live dribble, in a live situation, like a live ball turnover. Like that's part of it. Washington had some catastrophic, like self-inflicted live ball turnovers tonight.
Yeah.
Another thing is I thought the Mavericks rotated well. This was one of their, and again, everyone understand everything we're saying comes with the caveat. Yes, it's the Wizards. So don't be like, oh, well, It's just the Wizards. Like, okay, well, we have to talk about the game. So just assume that everything I say has but granted it's the Wizards at the end of it,
Yeah.
I thought the Mavericks had their best help on drive and kick defensively tonight. Like they played the weak side corner really well. I felt like, I don't know how many, I can't count off the top of my head, but I have multiple Wizards pick and roll situations where the ball handler is going downhill and then trying to cross court, trying to go from strong side to weak side in the corner to hit the corner shooter for a three. And the Mavericks just like intercepting it. Brandon Williams had a couple, Cooper had a couple. And I feel like those live ball turnovers really ignite a fast break. Because if you think about it, if you're getting a turnover in with a live ball when the ball handler is driving to the basket and trying to hit a corner shooter, that means the ball handlers is near the rim. There's a roll man near the rim, and then you've got presumably either a shooter in the weak side corner. So that's three players that are like low, like to try to get back, like the Mavericks. So the Mavericks get a turnover there, and there's three Washington players kind of in a line down the baseline, and the Mavericks are just off to the races. Like they immediate advantage from that when you turn over a team when they're trying to drive and kick you in the pick and roll game like that. The floor balance was just totally off for Washington. So I thought that was really good for the Mavericks to be able to pounce on that. Brandon Williams had 5 steals.
Yep. That's probably the play of the game for me. Like of all these weird little statistical elements, the 5 run that is
5 players had at least 2 steals
in a game decided by 5 points or 6 points for the Mavericks. Like that was those sort of live ball turnovers ended up making the difference.
That won them the game for sure. And Cooper is awesome in transition, man. Like he is so good. 6
Holy
assists. How many of them were in transition? I felt like almost all of them.
I just this is where him as the secondary versus the primary ball handler to me matters so much, because he's just a brilliant connective piece. I don't like him not like him. That's not what I mean. I think it's not utilizing one of the things he's best at, because if you get him the ball and he's sizing things up and he's doing like, I don't know, and we don't call it James Harden, Luka Doncic thing, whatever. It's just sort of missing what he's great at, which is like he sees his team gets the rebound. He is shooting up the sideline. Like I'm not kidding in that I would show Cooper flag stuff to smaller children learning how to play basketball to show what you're supposed to do. Because he gets the ball and the ball never sticks unless because like there's a surveying element of what's going on where he's just really going downhill. It's fun, man. I mean, he got one to Najee near the end that just felt important with how close the game was. And it's flag is just so different than any kind of player the Mavericks have really ever had. Like ever. I know basketball is played differently, but he's just such a wildly interesting player to watch. And it's like, okay, you're looking at his box score. You're like, oh, he shot 6 of 15. Oh, he didn't hit any 3-pointers. Oh, he didn't get to the line. Him not getting to the line is a different deal. Like there's some rookie-ish going on there because I think he attacks pretty frequently. Like he hit it was either out of a timeout, but it was definitely a fourth quarter make where he's attacking left, going downhill, middle of the lane. And he takes a bump, like a Dirk Nowitzki style bump right above the block, and then just kisses it high off the glass and it goes in. And I'm like, man, that was one of my favorite finishes from him this year because it shows the level of skill. He has a whole lot of skill. Like we had a guy on late last night. It was like the very last call. I really appreciated this talk where he's like, man, Cooper, he's like, Cooper, my favorite attribute of Cooper is his shot. He's like, I like watching him shoot. Like he's gonna have offense, and I'm still a little like I'm not willing to sort of put my flag in the ground and say this is what I believe about him long term. But if you're excited about that part of it, the scoring, the shooting, like I get it because you see it in these flashes, and it's like, oh, okay, he's gonna be just fine given enough time.
Yep, and I love I just need him to keep playing with a point guard. Like it just looks better. Even if he has a bad shooting night, the process just looks so much better when he's playing with a point guard. And you want to run point coop, experiment, against bench units and stuff like that. But just like get him going. Like he's 18. Like he has so many years to play point guard. Like just let him let him be him for a little bit to get his feet wet and get some confidence, and then go from there. Which I think they're starting to they're starting to do that a little bit more. He missed some shots again that he probably is going to kick himself over, but like again, he gets in transition so easily. Like he just.
What did you think of and I don't even know who threw him this pass, but someone threw him almost like a football style pass where he had to catch it over his shoulder. And just makes one. He transitions from catching the ball to dunking it so fluidly, and his dunks are violent. This is a ridiculous thing to talk about in November, but I kind of wonder if he's going to be a dunk contest guy.
I think the NBA would love that.
He just has such like. It's not a flare. It's like a violence. It's a sense of violence at the rim that's really sick.
He might not be a dunk contest dunker, but he's an in-game dunker. That's for sure. I liked his game. I like his mindset. I think you're right in that he is a very unique player in Mavericks history. Like if you think about the most athletic players the Mavericks have had, let's say starting with the Dirk era, they're usually not the most talented, haven't been the most talented players, or it's like a Sean Marion toward the end of his career, or like a Tyson Chandler who's a center, or like a Brandon Wright who's like a backup. Like they haven't had like the face of the franchise. They haven't had like an athletic, like a dominant athlete as the face of the franchise in terms of like, 98th percentile
athletes.
Dirk was close. Like Dirk, people will clown when I mentioned Dirk, but Dirk before he turned 30 was like was absolutely.
There's some dunks. Panda Hank has some stuff on YouTube where it's like he should do like maybe like a Dirk as a hyper athlete kind of thing. Yeah. People don't remember that stuff well enough, but it's like we got Sean Marion late. You get Vince Carter late, and like they're obviously throwback.
Like Josh Howard was great, but he wasn't the guy. He was like your second, third option. Like your foundational face of the franchise talent. Like they just
with Gerald Green. No, but I mean, even like S tier athletes.
Yeah.
But there haven't been we just haven't gotten that many sort of like S tier athletes
plus talent.
Yes. Well, but plus talent, but even the athletes, it's like who Derek Jones Jr. And I'm not saying
they're all role players.
Cooper's Cooper's not that kind of athlete. He's probably a step down, but it's fun.
It is fun.
Who knew Dallas dunking the basketball would be amazing? This is Jamie Cardona in the chat says Nicholas Avadalis. Is that the Virginia Tech guy that had like 33, 6, and 6 today? I only know this because David Sanchez and different guys in our Slack are already pumping the Mavs Slack with roster with guys because everybody's really excited we have our 2026 pick. I'll just put it to you like that. All right, well, I mean it's it's a good win. Who do they play next? I came in here and stopped paying attention because my brain doesn't work.
I mean, I think they play the Bucks, right?
Oh fuck.
No, the playtime is over. Like they play like their next. I mean, here's your schedule for the rest of the month of November: Milwaukee, Phoenix, Clippers, Portland, Minnesota, Knicks, Pelicans, Memphis, Miami, Lakers, Clippers. That
Lakers game is the 20th game of the year. It's the day after Thanksgiving, and that is in Los Angeles, and it's a Prime Video game. And if the Mavericks haven't righted the ship at all by then, that game is going to be a
flashpoint game.
I do, because I mean we had talked tonight about if the Mavericks lost tonight, I do actually think there might have been changes. Like you can't lose to the Wizards twice, you just can't. But now they have a little more like, okay, well these teams aren't these teams that they have a little bit of an out with what's coming, but it's like if you're expected to be better than this. Out of these, the remainder of these games, so it's like they've played 10. They have 10 left or I guess they have 11 left in the month of November. And if the Mavericks finish the month of November like well under 500, then I do expect some changes.
Yeah, and I mean, as great, as good as it was to get the win. I mean, where, I mean, of those teams I just named, like where
I think they can beat Phoenix, but Phoenix is pretty feisty.
Phoenix is way feistier than the Pelicans and even Memphis.
The Clippers are a team.
Clippers are kind of a mess.
Yeah, like they're talented, but they're old and they've looked old. Mm-hmm. Portland is going to be a fun game.
Milwaukee, Portland, Minnesota, Knicks, that's
a brutal stretch. Yeah. I don't know. Miami's the one where I'm just like, all right, they're gonna get they might just get shelled at the start of the week because it's a 4-game road trip, but it's the week of Thanksgiving, so they'll play in Miami and then they'll come home.
And then the problem is though, you get through November and then they start December. Denver, Miami, OKC, Houston, Detroit, Philly. Like those are their first 6 games to start December. Yeah, I mean, like this is why we said they need to be like 12 and 8, 11 and 9.
They just needed to stack some wins
because this is the easiest part of their schedule, and they've lost a lot of games. So yeah, we'll see. But they didn't lose this one, so they get reprieve for one night.
All right. Well, speaking of reprieves, I'm going to let you go and enjoy the rest of your night and maybe do some editing. Brian Roby, who you guys have heard in here plenty of times, wrote our recap tonight with much cajoling on my part. So go read him instead of having to hear him. And then there'll be a couple of other things up, but we actually wrote a ton the last 3 days, and so I'm not going to press our staff very hard. If you want to, hang out with me here, folks other than Josh, I'm about to start Mavs Party. I'm going to post the link in the chat. We can come talk basketball. Tell me what you like, what you didn't like, and then we can, just sort of see what's happening. So, Josh, you enjoy the rest of your weekend. We will talk again on Monday night following that game.
Yep. Go Mavs. Have fun. Be good.
Bye, guys. Welcome to Mavs Party. It's the first time we've had one of these since the weird Pacers game. I am Kirk Henderson, editor-in-chief over at Mavs Moneyball. Mavericks are now 3-7 following that win over the Wizards. I got one gentleman already waiting to talk, my good friend Glenn. If you would like to talk, if you're in this live show, you click the StreamYard link, which I have pinned. We can chat for a little bit, talk a little bit, whatever you want. And then everybody go enjoy their evenings. It's 9 o'clock. Feels weird. Glenn, what's up, dude?
Hi, Kirk. How you doing tonight?
Okay, a little gassed. I did a hot dog 5K this morning,
really?
where you have to eat a hot dog every mile and then keep going. It was for charity, and
okay.
I feel okay, but it's like I usually run on a treadmill, so like running outdoors, it just took the life out of me. And then I had like a day of day of chores, and I'll put it to you like this: I may go to bed by like 10 o'clock, which sounds
I'm
nice.
in bed by 10 p.m. most nights. I love being in bed by 10 p.m. So, but then I also get up at like 4:30 or so.
Well, did you watch either of these last two games?
Yeah, I did. I watched yesterday's game. It was incredibly dismaying. It just made me feel hopeless. Today's game was, we didn't lose, so I didn't pay attention that much. I'm always the optimist, so I guess I just want to come on and contribute a few things in the positive direction. We're sort of figuring it out. How you use our guards. Brandon Williams, I think, is becoming more valuable every game. He's starting to figure out how to play in the system. Cooper Flagg is starting to be in the right place at the right time a lot. I think it's odd watching him finish. Like he just doesn't. I guess that'll come, right? He'll be able to finish better because
No,
right now
I think so. I think there's a little
yeah.
too much zest in a lot of his shots, for lack of a better term, because he seems to kind of. I was in the first show. I was like really mad at Alex Sarr because Alex Sarr had, just from a basketball point of view, he had all these chances near the basket and he kept boofing. And
Yeah.
I'm not watching Flag with that kind of eye yet, just because every now and again he does something like in the fourth quarter where he took a nice bump driving left and finishing near the rim, where I'm like, oh, okay, there it is. So there's some. I will say that, like, I had a friend, really good friend, who loves basketball, kind of like you. He goes to games. He'll go to live sports events as often as he can. He went and saw Flag in person early last year.
Mhm.
And he came away from that game and he was just like, he's not it. He is not it. He was like, I
Really?
have zero belief in this guy. He's like, the athleticism's
Wow.
not there. The finishing's not there. The kind of criticisms were alarmingly similar to what we are dishing out now, which I don't think are unfair, because like we're watching the games. You know, sometimes he does some things, you're like, what's happening here? And the defense has been so butt awful from the team. It's kind of hard to be like, all right, he's playing a good defensive game, because the Mavericks are giving up, points left and right. So this is a long way to answer your question of, he has a pretty healthy track record of figuring it out. And last night, Tyler of Mavs Moneyball came on the show and he described Flag as as an elite problem solver, and that he sort of naturally figures out how to make his impact. And so if we're looking at this and it's let's say it's January 1st and he's still having some of the same problems, at that point it's like, okay, maybe then we got to self-assess. But right now, I don't know. I'm there's things that I like just like so much. Like the open court passing is delightful.
Yeah.
The willingness to move the ball is something.
Yeah.
Like you see this from a lot of younger players where the ball just sticks in their hands. They're used to having the ball all the time. And Flag's willingness to pass is probably the thing I like the most about him. But you don't draft a guy number 1 overall for willingness to pass. So I get you're kind of like on this. You know what I mean?
Court vision. Court vision is something that separates elite players from regular players. And the same thing goes for football, where, you can have this amazing quarterback with all the skills in the world, but if he can't glance all around him in all the chaos, immediately know where the open receiver is, where the guy to go, it doesn't matter if he's got all that skills. Cooper Flag has this amazing court vision, and that's similar to Luka and whoever else. But we got to give him time. He's 18 years old. His finishing looks awful at times. And then
I feel like he compensates too much.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe that, in the sense it's like sometimes he's missing and I'm like, this is not the guy I watched last year. And that's, he's thick.
But I mean, look, again, 18 years old. We can't expect too much from this guy so soon. And also, he was supposed to be paired with AD and Lively, and both of those guys are just such incredible chump stains who just, I really
thought AD was playing tonight. AD came in with the questionable tag. I was sure he was going to play tonight. And so, you know what I actually think happens now? I actually think he skips the Bucks game, because I don't think he wants anything to do with Giannis.
In AD's case, I get a little bit more. In Lively's case, I don't understand. We never really saw an incident that caused this. It's now they're saying something completely different from when this started. I think initially it was a bruise, and now we're saying it's something else. Lively, to me, I'm a positive guy, but he makes me sick when I see him standing there. And I think, why do we even pay for him to travel with the team? He's what is it with this guy where he cannot play with the simplest of it? I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I'm very frustrated about it, because I'm not a doctor and we don't know what he's going through.
Right, and the Mavs are just great at bullshit. and they lie to us. So it's
Sure,
if the knee injury was worse and we would have known about it earlier, I think the grace would have been extended more. But it's like you hear bone bruise or you hear knee bruise, and then he misses 9 games or 8 games or whatever, and you're like, what? And then
It
they
just
come
reminds
later.
me of Josh Hamilton, where
Okay.
my friends with the Rangers used to tell me that the reason Josh Hamilton doesn't play is because they have to make a pep talk every single damn day with this guy where they go, Josh, you're the bravest guy. Like, nobody else would be playing with that hangnail but you, sir. You're going to get out there and do it. And we just want to tell you how proud we are that you're doing it. And it's starting to feel like that, but let's be
really
fair. We don't know what he's going through. To me, he's the one that frustrates me most.
Yes.
So many different injuries and so little actual playing time for him.
Well, hopefully he's back against Giannis, because Giannis has been a point machine, or a points in the paint machine this year, and the Mavericks have been a turnstile without a token taker. They just like keep this is the best points in the paint game they've had in a while. So we'll see.
Get him a sports psychologist. That's what I would do if I was them. Get him a sports psychologist to just help him realize that it's all about coming up with excuses to play, not the other way around.
Well, I'm glad you joined, man. Hope you enjoy the rest of your night.
Thanks. I got nothing really useful to say tonight,
good.
but I watched the games somewhat, and go Mavs. Good. I hope we can turn this one into a momentum builder.
Yeah. We'll talk soon, okay?
Thanks, Kirk. Have a great night.
Yep. And Ricardo is next. What's up, dude? How are you?
Hi, Kirk.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Good. What's going on?
Well, I'd say that's probably one of the better played games we had this year, right?
I think that's fair. Sure. Why
not? Sure, but we're also in a dogfight with the Wiz. So what does that say?
So contextually, it's like, okay, good to get the win. Big picture, it's like, oh fuck. Like it doesn't really assuage anything. Because if you're relying on Brandon Williams, and like he was a plus 24 tonight, which I think 5 steals is a good game. If he's the solution to your problems, then your problems are pretty bad. And
sure, but I mean, I'm with Josh. I'm absolutely on team, or is it Josh? Somebody is absolutely on team Brandon Williams, where they're just like playing 30 minutes a night.
Yeah, no, I think he is. I think that's where he's at right now, because he would rather see the guy that's very dynamic in a north-south way, where he's able to. He doesn't really waste a lot of movement. The man gets where he's going, and like that, the Mavericks need a player like that.
Limited, but can do something consistently, as opposed to a guy who has kind of just been like an all-around, like inefficient, not really winning player in D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah.
So
I have a hard time being too hard on Russell, because this is what I expected. I expect some games where he's going to be unbelievable, and then other games where we're going to be just really not liking him.
Right. I think there's going to be a lot more of the latter than the former generally. Let me ask you a stats question, Kirk. You're at least something of a stats guy, right?
I try, but I'm also like, I'm always really worried about miscontextualizing stats, because I hate when people I talk basketball with just use them to make a point, but then they, I find out later that it's wrong. So it's like, I waffle back and forth.
Right. Well, that's exactly why I ask, because I assume you're pretty familiar with Basketball Reference, and like, are you a believer in win shares or win shares for 48?
I think over a career, sure.
Okay, because
it's tough though. Why? What's the question?
It's Anthony. Like, Anthony Davis is, by their advanced metrics, our best player this year by a considerable amount. Whereas PJ, whom we all love, and is like, this guy had to go from being the 4th option on a championship caliber team to like the leader of this sorry band.
Keep going. Sorry, I'm excited by this question. That's a good one.
Right. He's like actually been quite an offensive anchor on the team just because, I mean, you don't really think about it, but like, he dribbles one off the side of his leg pretty much every quarter, and he's shot poorly. And
he
whereas
rounded out okay. Like the Anthony Davis we got before he left with the calf injury, he was mildly disappointing for what I want from him, but he wasn't too bad because we had several games where he was right near the paint, was literally playing the center position. So he's getting a lot more better looks than he likes to take. He's just like the role that he was being played
forced to play better.
So I sort of the context of that's I'm gonna have somebody on our site look into this. This is a good talk. Because I don't know if I can answer this one well, but I think it's a good question.
Right. Like I have this picture. I mean, I'm way too hard on AD, I guess. Like I have this picture in my head of him as just sort of like this bootleg Antoine Walker. And like, that's obviously not fair. Like he's way, way, way more efficient than that. Like a pretty good foul shooter for a big man. Gets a lot of O boards, actually cashes them, unlike the entire rest of the team.
Yes.
That's, I guess it really just comes down to the fact that we just can't shoot
right now. I certainly think that's the case.
I do like that they made like, I don't know. It's like it feels like reality is settling in for everybody. It's like, oh no, we can't run our really weird, like goofy ass team. We have to run a normal team with like the very limited backcourt players we have available and just try to, run a normal team for the best to the best of our ability, which is not very well.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm listening to you and also hearing my wife chew out my 9-year-old. So it was like I wasn't, which is very funny in the sense that it's like my 9-year-old just makes some mistakes the same way the Mavs have, where it's like, how did you ended up in this terrible position by your own choices? And it's like the reality sitting in. Like, did you remember when PJ or not PJ? It was freak. Who is it? It was Najee Marshall. Like he had the ball just like taken from him, and then he was just like laying on the ground face first. Do you remember that play?
Yes.
That's where I'm just like, I didn't realize Najee had as many points as he did at that point. But I was just sitting there thinking, man, this is the season we're having, huh? Where PJ, it's a rough deal. I don't know. They won. Happy they won. I wonder if we're going to be happy in the coming days. Like, what surprises do they have? Because it's like Lively doesn't fix any of this stuff. AD, I think, helps some, but not as much as we need. And I don't know what they do. I don't know what they do.
I bet we're probably moving into I think we're probably over the hump into the acceptance phase. Although, do you think Jason actually did some coaching? Like, we probably don't have time for like all of my mean-spirited esoterica, but just to drop a little sneak preview, like I think Jason's deal is fairly easy to figure out. Like he can't really coach a lick offensively because I just don't think he can imagine a basketball situation unlike one that like he would be in, where it's like, what are you talking about? You just drag Todd McCullough and Kerry Kittles to the finals. That's what you do. Like, it doesn't matter what the lineups are. It doesn't matter who you're playing with. You just happen to have like a transcendent all-time floor general, which is me. And that's going to be you, whoever you are, or something like that. I don't know. That's the best private theory I can work with anyway.
Oh, I mean, the regular season's so long. I think this is where Carlisle, I think, always was a bit of a challenge because Carlisle is just such a dog for the games. Right. And I think Kidd knows he only has a certain number of buttons he can press. And, it's like last night they sent out Cisse and Max Christie along with Kidd, where it's just at that point, after that loss, you have to think that the locker room was kind of on the brink.
Yeah.
And that's why this game, I feel like, was important for at least to sort of have a balm over what they're trying to do. And Kidd can only, like, I'm not sure what this is. I get a lot of messages from people who are very angry at Jason Kidd, which I just find in this circumstance a little odd because Kidd tried to get out of his contract, tried to go to New York, and then ended up just getting paid more money by the Mavs, which is a pretty good pretty good thing to fall back on if you are in an odd contract situation or in an odd like team situation.
Did you think you really wanted to go to New York, or was it one of those like college football, like squeeze some more money out of him?
I think he wanted to go to New York.
Okay.
I do. I because I think he saw this.
Right.
Like they at least have an inch, but at the same time, it's 9 games in. What are they really gonna like? What is him getting super fired up going to do on the second night of on the first night of a back-to-back? You just got to, at a certain point, these guys get paid to play basketball professionally, and some of them just need to play better. This is where like the Musa Cisse of it all is really interesting because the man plays like a lunatic. Him and Gafford has a different play style, but I'm loath to criticize Gafford's effort because he's been playing on an ankle that doesn't feel very good. So it's just
right.
It's like the entire process of this team assembly and the way you look at the roster, it just sort of makes you wonder what on earth they were thinking, because it doesn't. I've talked about this often. I probably will. I sort of, in order to not get screamed at by everyone that likes following this team, I sort of was like, you know what? I guess they could win 40 games. And I let myself be talked into it when in my heart, I'm sitting here thinking, I don't see how they win more than 35.
Right. But that's the thing. We all like the better question, my friend, is what were we thinking?
I mean, you want it like if you're going to waste this much time, you have to have something for what you're wasting it for.
Right.
You know? It's a difficult deal. It is. But that's why we do these shows too. It's why I like talking with people about it, because it keeps me invested in coming back. I had a friend of mine reach out to me last night I've not talked to in like 20 years, and he still follows the Mavs like a crazy person. And I was just like, yeah, come hang out on the podcast. Like, it's nicer to talk about this stuff with people than, I couldn't imagine like truly doing this alone, because otherwise I think I would have quit by now. Like, I just would have stopped watching, because it's not. And that's before the Luka thing of it all. It's just, it's more of a like this, okay, this season's not going to be great. I'm going to go watch, the new Apple Plus show that I, all the TV and video games that I want to do, but never do because I do Mav stuff instead.
Right. But Pod Maverick is a great institution and must and shall be preserved. And that's why we're here.
I will tell you, the fact that my silly clip made Reddit has, like, my wife read 900 Reddit comments about me. and then read them to me that apparently I am the best ones. Apparently I am Jim Gaffigan, who swears, which is quite okay, sure, why not?
Okay.
Anyway, hey man, thank you for joining the show. Okay.
Oh, thanks for having me.
All right, talk soon.
Have a great night.
Okay, I'm going to insert some ads here just because I have to. And then I'm going to bring up longtime friend, Mr. Do Dang. And then Catchram is going to close us out unless anybody else wants to join. So wait just a second. I'll insert these ads. It's the best way you can support the show, other than quite literally giving us money through the PayPal that's attached to this. So we'll be right back. Come on. Join Mr. Dodang and me. I'm Kirk. We're still here from Pod Maverick. Do's part of the extended family. What's going on, dude?
Not much, man. It's nice to get a win. I don't think we're going to get very many wins. I mean, if you said in the beginning of the year, if you gave me how many wins we'd get, I'd probably say about 20. And the reason for the year. And the reason I say that is because the roster construction. You got injury-prone old players. Number one, you got an imbalance of no ball handling hardly at all after Kyrie. You're relying on Brandon Williams and D'Angelo Russell, and you got Nembhard, and then you sign another guy that's injury prone to be your backup point guard too, the Exum that we haven't seen.
That's probably the low key worst thing that happened in the offseason was that one, because they had other options. Somebody, my friend Dwight on Twitter was basically like, I'd rather have Russell Westbrook at this point. He's going to play hard.
Oh yeah. He's going to suit up all the time, and he's going to play D, and he's fearless. I mean, for all the things I remember when Cuban said that Russell Westbrook was not a premium player. Do you remember that little fiasco that happened back about 10 years ago? It was hilarious.
To me, other than the kerfuffle with Kobe Bryant and the amnesty, it was an 18-month fight with Russell Westbrook. He picked at him repeatedly. And like, I think that was incredibly detrimental to the Dallas Mavericks organization at that point in time. That was just really talent starved. And it's like, well, who wants to come play for an owner that talks shit about the MVP? What are you doing?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, that was the horrible PR move, you know? I mean, it's just a colossal of crazy things that, you know, I miss Cuban in some ways, but when you remind me of these little petty things, stupidity that he engaged in, of being the worst owner GM in NBA history, it makes me satisfied that we've moved on. But man, this management group, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think 20 games is now the benchmark for any real changes. And we're just going to have to kind of slog through it. Maybe there'll be some surprises. Klay Thompson being out tonight, for example, with an illness sort of made me laugh. Like, was his illness hating the Mavericks? Like, is that the illness? Like, not wanting to play?
Well, not starting anymore, not getting many minutes.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
But
well,
you can't blame him. He didn't sign up for this. You know, he signed up for Luka being here, you know, but at the same time, I'm really happy. I want them to just play. I want them to tank. This is a deep draft. You know, it's time to rebuild.
Well, but they're not, you know, if they keep sort of playing like this is just, it's going to happen organically. Like there's not going to be any big, you know, effort to shed, like they'll shed salary at a certain point, because like one of the things I just can't get over, this team's like $1 million from being over the second apron. And that would limit, like, that's so hard to do.
Right.
I think Gafford gets moved in season if things continue this way. Him plus Klay Thompson equals about 30 million of salary. And I think, you know, if you're looking to make a swing and improvement, I think that's the main way how. But for me, and I think for a lot of us, is like that, like we want a recouping of assets to be able to try to build a team through the slower draft-based way. And, you know, the Mavericks do have draft picks. They have the 2026 draft pick. They have draft picks 27, 28, 29, 30. It's just they're gonna lose the 27 one probably to Charlotte, and the 28, 29, 30, they just don't have the, you know, they have control in one of those years they don't have control of any of them in any of those 3 years. Like it's a challenging deal.
I think we should go with the OKC plan, you know, and stack up talent as much as we can in the draft, and then build around Cooper. And then just start picking up pieces, you know, that are young. And the great thing about, you know, organically tanking we don't have to do much because we have Jason Kidd at the helm and Nico as the GM. But it's scary that Nico's at the GM, the helm, that's going to make these basketball decisions. You know, I mean, if we have lotto picks, he's not capable of making the right decisions, in my opinion.
Well, they had the right one. They had the right one made for them.
Oh, yeah. We got lucky. Yeah.
Well, you got anything else before we get out of Dodge?
No. I'm just, you know, I'm just settled on this being a lotto team, you know. I just want to see some good growth with young players. If we're going to tank, we might as well lose with players that are going to play hard, you know.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll talk soon then, okay, dude?
All right. Thanks a lot, Kirk. Appreciate you and Josh.
Of course. Give a quick shout out to Ash Boying. He says, my son got promoted to Lance Corporal today. Congratulations. That's pretty cool. And also thank you for the super chat. Very much appreciate that. Kram, what's happening?
Hi, sorry, I'm driving. So if I don't look at you,
no. Turn the camera off and talk to me. It's fine. You don't got to have the camera open. Be safe.
All right. So I'm mad. Like I think I told you like 2 days, like on our second game, I said I don't think the Mavs will even make the play-in, and like I don't see it. Nico fucked us. Like he fucked us so much. He basically bent us over, fucked us, then fucked us twice, and fucked us 3 times, and told us to shut up and say thank you. I'm just so mad. Like I look at Luka and they're doing so well, in fucking LA. I mean, like, we couldn't even get Austin Reeves, and he's balling the fuck out. I'm just so mad. I mean, I'm just so mad. Like, what is this? I mean, I'm frustrated because, like, we were promised that this team would be competitive. Media outlets said, "Oh, we're contenders." AD's not playing. Lively's not playing. We have no point guard. We don't even have the next 4 years of our draft picks.
Like I
We're
just
done.
kind of I just ranted about that. They got this year's 2027 is basically gone. 28 is a swap. 29 we traded away, but now we have the Lakers ones. That one's interesting, and then 30 is a swap. So we will have picks, but they're not picks where we have much say in what happens to them.
Yeah, and that still sucks. It sucks. You know what? I don't care. I mean, I'm at the point where, like, trade Gafford and Clay, put in a pick or two, and get a disgruntled John Morant. Just fucking do it.
I don't know what they would do there. That's an interesting one because Morant's
I mean-
contract's actually quite big. He makes a lot of money.
I mean, we need something. We need a point guard. We need something. I mean, we're basically pigeonholed. Like, what can we even get? What? I mean, Nico fucked us. He literally fucked us.
Well, I mean, they have some incentive this year to move off contracts if this year, like that.
Who?
The Mavericks, because the owner is not going to be thrilled with paying because they have a luxury tax payment due because they're over the salary cap for the second year in a row. And what'll happen is the next year, so it's like there's this year they owe that salary cap, the luxury tax payment. It's about $30 million. So he's paying out these salaries, but then he also has to send $30 million to the NBA. Next year, if nothing changes, like if the roster stays exactly the same, which keep in mind won't happen, but if it were to stay exactly the same, the luxury tax payment next year is like 95 million. So it's like he's not the owner, even though I think they're a little bit disinterested. They're not going to continuously pay for something that doesn't that is not paying dividends. I think things sort of get blown up to a degree if they continue this at this pace, and then they'll recoup some of the assets.
Yeah, possibly. I have one last question for you.
Sure.
Hypothetical question. How many losses or at what record does the Mavs have to be at before Dumont fires Nico?
Ooh, okay. I sort of briefly touched on this earlier, but I don't care. We'll do it again. I think the answer is that they play the Lakers for their 20th game of the season the day after American Thanksgiving. It's like Friday, November 28th. If the Mavericks get their asses kicked in that game in LA, and at that point, if let's just say they're 5 games under 500, I think at that point they have to make a change. Like I don't see them continuously going down this path because the heat in American Airlines Center has been turned up. These home games are not like the Mavs quietly buried, and they released that like the ridiculous 25-year like home sellout streak was over. The Mavericks actually admitted that. It wasn't much news because the local news around here doesn't publish stuff like that. I don't know why. Hell, we didn't even publish it at Mavs Moneyball, but that was like a thing Cuban touted, and he would always get people to come to games, et cetera, et cetera. Like they would sell tickets at a loss because they wanted people to come in. The upper deck in Mavs games now is not filled that much. Like they don't show it on camera but it's like I've been sent pictures. It's kind of wild. So I think at a certain point this starts to affect the checkbook, and you want to find a way to get people to come back. And I think, all right, you fire Nico in season, and then you apologize to the fans and say, come on back, and here's discount. They'll find a way to turn things around, at least business wise.
I hope so.
We'll see.
I honestly, I think this team would be a lot better if we had a point guard. I really do.
Yes, I mean another point guard would be helpful. I don't think that's a hot take.
I mean, they could have kept Dennis Smith. He is a point guard to an extent.
But if you would have seen him, that's not the Dennis Smith we remember. He was a little hefty. He hasn't played in the NBA since 2024, 2023.
I thought he was in the G League.
No, it's yes, but it's like even there, I think a guy with his NBA experience, it's like he's put himself in a difficult position to where I think he's out of the league for good.
Oh, that sucks.
Yep. All right, man.
That sucks.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye. Okay, I saw face all in the chat popping in and out. Hope he comes back. I'll bring him up. Brian Roby just finished his recap and wants to talk to us now. What's going on, dude? Thank you so much for doing that, by the way.
Oh, wait a minute. What happened?
You not hear me? Yeah, you can't hear me. That's the best. Do you want me to kick you out?
Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
I can hear you. You sound good. I'm just going to talk until you can hear me. That's the best. All right, I'll punch you, and then you rejoin. All right, we'll see if Face All rejoin, and Brian will rejoin, and then we'll close this out, and I will go do something. I'm not eating dinner yet. I ate a bowl of cereal at like 7:30. Just a stupid day, very stupid day. But the Mavs won, so that's fun. I know. Krish in the chat says salute to anyone willing to write the recaps. Okay, guys, I think we'll just close up shop here. It's been an hour. That's all we need to do. I'm going to go help make sure my kid goes to bed. And we'll be back on Monday night. Everybody be good. Talk soon. Go Mavs.